Am I the asshole for grossly humiliating my boyfriend in front of his whole family after he engagement pranked me? My 40 female, now ex-boyfriend, Keith, male 38, and I had problems because of his constant pranks. He has a thing for making his targets look ridiculous. I warned him many times that I'm not a forgiving person and that he was undermining my trust. He laughed it off, and I kept giving him chances because he has redeeming qualities. He's funny without pranks, acting like a good listener, and generally showed me deference. However, these traits began to fade away, and I don't know why. It kind of shifted. I don't know if showing him love made him think that he could do this. We never had fights, although we had disagreements, and I tended to clam up if I was really hurt. This happened twice. The first time was very out of the blue. We attended a, quote, gala hosted by our city council. I'm using the quotes gala because this isn't a huge city and galas are looked forward to, but are not the high class / upper class inaccessible type. He liked the way that they treated us. I was the actual guest and he was my plus one, and he asked me if I could help him get an interview as he wanted to launch a small business and maybe they would be interested. I made no promises but got him a meeting that I attended along with him. On our way back, we stopped at a deli and ran into my ex, with whom I'm cordial. Keith was enraged because I answered my ex's greeting and said that I was too friendly and that it was disrespectful. That lasted for about 10 minutes. We sit at my place to eat our takeout, and he immediately said very inappropriate things about my best friend. I immediately called him out for trying to make me jealous. He laughed at first, but I asked what was funny, so he left and took his food. We talked about it later, but a few days later I realized that he never properly apologized. Second, he criticized my outfit and said that I looked ridiculous in it. I should have dumped him right there, but chose to put it in the back of my mind because I already had a lot on my plate, career and family-wise. I also held out hope that we could get back to the way things used to be. I was never able to shake that feeling off about being hurt, although we seemed to have reached a very stable phase after that. He started with his pranking ways again. First, I caught him trying to hide the birthday cake that I got for my friend. Then he hit the gas pedal a few times when I was about to get in his car. Last week, we were at his mother's house for his birthday party. Everything felt normal until everyone got really quiet. It was just weird. I looked at him and he immediately took a knee. This was the worst feeling. First of all, we had not reached a stage leading to an engagement. Second, I thought it was likely a prank, but I didn't know how to react. I don't know if he told everyone that he was about to propose, and if they were quiet in honest anticipation, or if they knew, or maybe some of them knew. If he was being honest, I didn't want to say no in front of his family, so I would have probably had to say yes and then say no in private. If it was a prank, then he would have to humiliate me in front of over 20 people. So what I did was ask what he was doing, and he said I was seeing him and that I knew. I said no, I didn't know, so he insisted. I said all right and asked to see what was in the box and will react accordingly. The fact that he looked off, maybe realizing that he fucked up, maybe wanting to double down, but I'll never know, was a huge red flag. He opened the box and he had a beer cap tab in it. I told him off right there. I said that he took a knee to give out junk just like he tried to suck up to people to sign up for his tacky, insignificant LLC so that he can push his trash services that he hardly knows how to do. I also mentioned how he lost his jobs twice, and I said I fully understand why he couldn't afford a real ring. I asked him if he honestly saw me marrying a man-child. His family was offended. Some of them looked uncomfortable, but some of them acted like I went overboard. He tried to apologize, but I informed him to stick it up his ass and that we were done. Needless to say, it was a shit show. I had no exit plan because I didn't know that I would have to walk out and I didn't have my car. So I had to walk with his cousins following me, trying to convince me that he didn't mean to hurt me and that it was dangerous to walk home alone. I had to walk about 30 minutes until I found an available Uber. I made a Facebook post explaining why I did what I did and that I couldn't see my future self with a scumbag. His brother's girlfriend and I have a good relationship. I find her to be very honest and reasonable. She reached out to check how I was doing and let me know that neither her nor her boyfriend had anything to do with it and that I was right to be mad. But she also said that while she had never gotten along with Keith, this is true, ousting him as a workforce failure in front of his family was too much and that his family were thrown off. I asked what she thought I should do since I'm not going to do anything to make him feel better, and that's that. And that if he ever tries to contact me, I will make sure things get even more painful, if that's even how he feels. To be honest, I'm embarrassed. I stood up for myself, but I guess I went overboard and maybe I should have just turned around and walked away. Was I extra for this?
Yes. Were you extra? Yes. Yeah. Yes. I mean, your reaction is valid to be angry with a freaking bottle cap and had enough of his pranks and stuff, but I kind of have to agree with the brother's girlfriend because, like, just, yeah, maybe you shouldn't call him a workplace failure and drag him through the mud in front of all of his family. Like, did you go overboard? Yes. I don't think it was really. Sometimes I'm like, did you go overboard? Yes, but it was called for. I don't think so.
Sometimes it's okay to be the asshole.
I don't. I'm not. No, I'm not on board with that this time. I'm sorry. Jury's out for me on that.
Yeah, I would honestly agree as well. And I think the last two posts that I've read were not with the majority here. Top comment says, why would you feel embarrassed? He wanted to embarrass you in front of his whole family. Who makes a prank with a marriage proposal like that? Yes, only a man-child would do this.
Right, yeah, and I agree. And I agree that she should break up with him and she could have walked out and almost done all of the same stuff. Do I think she really needed to, like,
I
throw
think
him
she
under
just,
the
like,
bus like that?
it was just anger, like, spewing. I don't think she, like...
Like, I feel like it's kind of on the same lines of, like, you know, you don't break up with your ex in front of his family and tell his whole family how he has a small pecker and, you know, couldn't satisfy you or something. You know, it's kind of like...
Jesus!
That'd be like, imagine she did that instead. It's just like, okay, that's unnecessary.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, I don't know. Like, she did have the thought that, like, if he was actually proposing, I was going to have to say yes and then say no in private so I don't humiliate him. So, like, I don't know. She keeps those feelings in mind with that. But, like, this was just, again, the straw that broke the camel's back. I think a lot of these are just, like, people are fed up. They've been dealing with pranks their whole lives.
Oh, yeah, they're just done with it.
Stupid shit, and...
I just feel like there's, like, maybe, like, two things that you don't bring up in front of your in-laws' families. And
I think she just saw red and, like...
For sure. I just feel like...
Didn't realize where she was anymore. Like, you know when you're so angry that you just, like...
Yeah.
Nothing else matters. Like, you have to say this point.
I could see that. I just don't think I don't think you bring up money or sex in front of your partner's family.
I guess, like, if they really deserve it, maybe. Like, if, for example, I don't know, they're cheating and, like, I don't know, they're...
Well, you're cheating, you can bring up.
Yes,
but I
mean,
like,
this doesn't really warrant that.
No, I don't think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, seems a little harsh to me, but maybe, and I'm usually the harsh one.
I know.
So I'm like, I don't know.
Let's see what everybody else thinks, because I am curious, because the last two that I've read, we were not in the majority.
Maybe I'm off over here. Maybe.
No, but I agree as well.
Okay.
Yeah.